Good morning. I want to talk to you today a little bit about Assignment 1 and how this guide for writing will help you. Assignment 1 is asking you to pick a picture, like I gave you in the assignment sheet, and to write a narrative about the significance of that picture in your life and your culture. Right? The PowerPoint that I uploaded has more specific tips tailored to Assignment 1 specifically, but this is general writing advice that you need to think about all the time. The first thing you want to think about is purpose, right? All writing has a purpose. Sometimes we want to explore thoughts, express ourselves, entertain, and so you think about what the purpose is. And I've given you some questions to think about to get you thinking about what your purpose is. So, what do you want your audience to do, think, or feel? And once you have a topic for your narrative and you've picked a picture, you can start to think about that. What story do I want to tell, and what do I want my audience to think about it or know about it? What does the writing task call on you to do? So make sure you read the assignment sheet specifically so that you understand what I'm asking you to do in each assignment. And then what are the best ways to achieve your purpose? So for the narrative genre, you really want to pay attention to the PowerPoint because I've given you ways to achieve that purpose, especially in the show don't tell area. The next thing you want to think about is your audience, right? Who is going to be reading this? Yes, I will be reading it as your professor. Your classmates will be reading your rough drafts, but that is not who I want you to think about. Don't think about writing to your teacher, right? Because that's a very narrow audience, and I don't want you to write something thinking, what would Ms. Burrows want to read? I want you to write it for the audience that's listed on your assignment sheet and to think about multiple people reading this so that they can learn something about your life, right? And so for every assignment sheet and every class you have, if they don't tell you what the audience is or who the audience is, you can go and ask your professor, who am I supposed to be writing to in this paper or this project? It really will help you get in the right frame of mind to write a paper. There are questions you can ask yourself about audience. So, whom do you want to reach? What is the audience's background, their education, their life experiences, their interests? Sometimes demographic or political influences might affect your readership. Sometimes not. Generally in 1010, especially in my classes, we don't really have that issue. But in 1020, you might want to consider something like how their political stance might affect them. And then what might your audience already know or believe about your topic? For this, they may know something about the culture that you're writing about, but you want to assume that they don't know you personally, so you have to tell the story from your perspective in lots of detail so that we can understand what you're talking about. The last thing is genre. So the genre for this first paper is a narrative, right? But there's lots of genres out there for writing. Letters, reports, poems, instructions, all of those are genres. So you really want to think about the genre when you get an assignment sheet as well. And how might that affect the content that you can or should include? An example of this is that in a narrative, you can include dialogue like you would see in a novel because you might have characters in your story. In the picture I posted with the Converse from my wedding, there are multiple people in that picture, so there's potential for multiple characters in my narrative. But certainly I would have to be in that, and even if I'm just putting my thoughts, you can put them in quotes like dialogue so that it enhances your narrative and it's not just a standard essay, right? But for your other classes and your other assignments, make sure you look at the genre and ask questions to yourself and to me if you have them when you're looking over those things. As always, if you have questions about something I've posted in this video or the PowerPoint or anything else this week, please reach out via email. I will also be setting up a Facebook group for everybody if you want to contact me that way as well. Have a great week, everyone.